Really fine, brittle strands can be ultra frustrating when you're on a journey to growing your longest, healthiest hair. Let me tell you what I learned from my client M, who was struggling to retain length despite doing all of the things. There are lessons on nutrition, gentle handling, mindset, and even hair strand mineral analysis in here. So stay tuned. Let me set the scene for you. It was 2021, and M was one of the first coaching clients I ever had. Here's what we learned together. Number one, environmental factors can definitely play a massive role in how your hair looks and feels, and also your length retention. A huge part of her recent history was moving from the Caribbean to the US, and she had noticed an increase in her hair's breakage. Through our work together, I was able to solidify what I had learned theoretically, and that is the role that humidity can play in breakage for afro-textured hair. Let me break that down for you. Because the moisture content of your hair corresponds to the moisture content of the surrounding environment, if you move from, for example, the Caribbean to the US, as was the case for M, you are likely to become more aware of the fragile nature of your strands. Afro-textured hair has been shown to demonstrate a type of breakage known as premature breakage. So that's essentially that you touch your hair a little bit and it breaks. So think you're, putting your hair into a bun and then you start seeing little wisps falling to the floor even though you're not doing anything particularly rough or harsh with your strands. What's actually happening here is that there are cracks that have been formed in your hair in the past and your hair is giving way now. It just so happens that even if you have these cracks in your hair, at higher humidity, your strands are less likely to break. And that is likely what M was experiencing in the US. A lot of premature breakage. She was saying things like, I'm so gentle with my hair, and yet it still breaks. Telltale sign that there is an issue with moisture at play, as she was living in a state where the air was a lot drier than it was back home. Number two, your mindset matters a lot. It's going to influence your commitment, your consistency, and dare I say another C word, your comparison. It's so easy to spend your time on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, scrolling away and wishing that you had somebody else's hair, but the moment that you intentionally focus on what you have on your head, things get so much easier. When you decide to make this shift, don't berate yourself for the mistakes that you've made or the hair that you haven't retained. Be kind to yourself and trust the process. Things will get easier, but comparison is the thief of joy. Number three, it is possible to retain length with fine hair. You just have to work with it and not against it. And with fine hair, as with most textured hair, patience and radical gentleness are absolutely key for length retention. Hair strand mineral analysis isn't a reliable way to find out if you've got a deficiency. In search of answers, M got her hair strands tested for minerals at a lab. Her results showed that she was really high in selenium, and in excess, selenium can cause hair loss. The thing is that she washes her hair with Selsun Blue. Make it make sense. Needless to say, I was skeptical about this technique, and for good reason. When I read up on it more and discussed it with my mentor, it turns out that this method has low credibility for a few reasons. Number one, there are no baseline standards for the minerals that are in your hair. So it's not like they say, for example, your hair should have no more than 10 micrograms of selenium in it. Those standards do not exist, and if you find them, they're arbitrary. Number two, there's no way to know for sure, just through hair mineral analysis alone, whether the minerals in your hair are the result of internal or external factors, like the environment and pollution and the shampoos that you use. For example, shampoos that contain selenium. Number three, bleaches, dyes, and other chemical treatments can also massively affect the results that you get on hair strand mineral analysis. And number four, the level of minerals in your hair can also be influenced by, wait for this, the thickness of your hair strands, your hair's growth rate, and even the colour of it. Essentially, it's possible to be deficient in something while having a high concentration of it in your hair, and vice versa. Number 5. Your fine strands may be a sign of something deeper. As Dr. Eve likes to say, your hair is an external representation of your internal health. And in M's case, we found out through her blood testing that she had low iron and low hemoglobin due to something called thalassemia trait. Hemoglobin is the molecule that makes up your red blood cells, and it is responsible for binding to oxygen and helping to deliver that oxygen to your cells to release energy. In thalassemia trait, the structure of your hemoglobin is compromised, resulting in smaller red blood cells that do not carry as much oxygen. This is even more severe in full-blown thalassemia. If the oxygen supply is compromised, then the result can be dry, brittle hair and also hair loss. Number 6. Even in thalassemia trait, iron supplementation can help address symptoms like depression and fatigue. And so it's something for you to talk to your healthcare provider about. Here's a snippet from the GP that I work with who has seen this in her patients.
Using iron is not to treat anemia in the case of thalassemia trait, because you will always have a form of microcytic anemia, which basically means that the trait gives you less oxygen carrying ability. What you use iron to do is to treat symptoms. So when we're treating iron, we're addressing the iron stores in the body, which is often in the form of ferritin, and also just managing symptoms. So some people who have conditions like thalassemia trait or sickle cell trait intermittently will feel extremely tired because their stores are low. So although your GP or doctor probably said there's no need to treat with iron, we're not treating anemia, we're treating symptoms. So you can use it on and off. It doesn't need to be in the form of prescribed iron, it can be used over the counter in the form of slow iron, liquid iron, whichever one works for you. But that would be the purpose behind doing it.
Do yourself a favour and check out this video next. As you've seen, there are many factors that can influence your length retention and how you can go about your hair journey, so go and get your learn on. My name is Asha, I'm a trichologist, and I help you build confidence through your relationship with your natural hair.